This meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission on Monday, August 4th, 2025 at 5:30 PM is called to order. Do we have any public comments? Okay. Approval of the previous minutes from the regular meeting of July 7th, 2025. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
Lisa Kennedy.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, number 4, HPC application number 25-017. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a new Beauty by Laura and Company facade sign for a building located at 108 North Witt Street.
This is an easy one. This one's been withdrawn by the applicant. They're no longer in business. And they've since taken the sign down, so the application has been withdrawn.
Okay. Well, that brings us to number 5, HPC application number 25-018. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for new exterior window screens on the second-story windows for a building located at 101 West Oklahoma Avenue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just as was indicated, this at the corner of, it's 101 West Oklahoma, they had screens, exterior screens that were very dilapidated. So they went to put new screens on. The new screens do not have a whole lot of opaqueness to them, which has become an issue. The applicant, not only in the staff report was there what they have now, but they also the proposal that the applicant has provided, which appears to have a greater or less opaqueness or can see through better. That's what they have now, and then the next one is what they propose. But the applicant's here if you have any questions of them.
If the applicant would like to,
Yeah, I'm Christy Fincher.
if you'll come right up here with the
Up there to
microphone.
the podium.
I'm gonna get my granddaughter to hold these for me.
Okay.
I'm Christy Fincher, and I'm one of the owners, and my husband is the other owner. So what we started with, I talked with Dan, starting in April, about doing the screens, and I need to walk over there and show you.
Sure.
So I sent him all of these, and that one there, and I decided these have a better warranty, so I went with this gray one here. Now, I've been told that you need to be transparent and be able to see. So this is the other option. My contractor has 2 options, the solar screen or the extra strength mesh. This is the other option right here. And they come in charcoal or gray. So I can have him remove those and go with one of the charcoal and gray. If you all would prefer that, I have a statement here that,
Yeah, but for the townsite code, I don't have a copy of it here in front of me, but it does say that they need to be transparent and
Okay.
not hide the
I was
elements
never
of the
told that
windows.
until after they were up. So,
My problem here is against that white background, the gray one that you're proposing, I can't tell if it's translucent or not.
oh,
Bring it
well,
up. Can you,
I've got bigger pieces.
okay, if you do, please.
Y'all step up there and show.
All right. Just
Just hand that
hand
one.
it to me real quick. Thank you. Yeah, see, that's,
So this is the one you're proposing?
This is gray and this is charcoal.
Right.
I don't care. I mean, it's whatever y'all prefer.
Well, whatever
Now-
the one that's going to be translucent.
Whichever one is most,
They're both the same, it's just a matter of color.
well, sometimes, a light reflectant off of a gray, like what you guys have up right there now, probably when you had them down, you could see through them a lot better, just like in these pictures. When you had them down and you're looking straight through them, you could see through them so much better than whenever they're up and a light's reflecting off the side of a door or off the side of a building.
Because the problem
See
is
how
they
you
look
see my
white.
hand?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, and that looks way more opaque or translucent than,
I looked back at some old pictures and the windows are kind of black. I don't know, more so trim, but, so, I'll do whatever you all want me to do. I wasn't trying to go rogue. I was
No,
just-
we totally understand.
No,
and
no.
we're-
no,
Well,
We're not suggesting anything of the sort.
no, not at all. I think whenever it comes to the code and the way that, it does work with windows, is most windows are made with a single panel of screen, and the screen is on the bottom. Now, I could see wanting to have a full screen if you were intending on working on a next step to repair or work on windows, and that was something for a protectant type situation, and that does make complete sense.
I want a full screen because we've had a problem with hail.
Oh, for sure.
And when in that turret
Yeah.
more specifically, so.
Yes.
So, whatever you all think,
Any thoughts or comments?
The first thing that I see when I see the ones that are up there now is the frame. It's very bright,
it's
aluminum.
it's gonna be black. These, I'll show you in this
The
thing.
frame will be different.
Yeah. The only way on those solar screens, the only frame that they come in is white. That's all they make for those solar screens. But I specifically asked him, on these, that I want a black frame, and I want a full screen, for the wind and the hail. Because, that's kind of what happened. The hail went through one of the turret windows. The screen, the window screen,
Yep.
and that's why we decided we needed to do something, because those were glass screens, 3 parts with a mesh at the bottom. So, a window screen and mesh at the bottom, and the hail went through it, so.
Any other thoughts or comments?
I prefer the gray. It's just my opinion.
I can give you his statement of work if you'd like that. If you need that. He did put charcoal on here, but I can change it.
That darker one is the charcoal one, though.
Right.
Okay.
These will, obviously match up with the windows, the part in the middle. Where those, where we go, don't match up.
Thank you.
Well, I guess the question that this commission needs to address at this moment is if we're going to approve this extra strength mesh, it's what we think is going to be the most translucent. Because I know you've been through enough, and I don't want you to have to go through any more with this.
Yeah.
I agree. The visual obstruction was my main concern, and it's so hard to tell by a piece of fabric like that where you can't see the light coming through.
Yeah.
And
Do you want me to put a flashlight behind these? Or,
Would that help?
I don't know.
Maybe a phone flashlight shine through it?
I almost think even standing up behind it is helpful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
helpful.
Probably just
Aaron,
standing up
put
behind it
that
is helpful.
picture, the second picture up.
I mean, that's not.
I know that it's not really helpful either. Chrissy, can you
The
grab
other
the
one.
charcoal one behind you?
This is the picture that they
Almost
took
have
up
one
against,
That
yeah.
is charcoal right there up against
Okay.
his house.
Right, it's
Okay.
just difficult to tell in the photograph
Sure, no, I understand.
what it's gonna
Because,
look like.
yeah, the different lighting and I don't want to put you through anymore, and then it, blocks the view.
I tend to think that charcoal one is going to be the darkest. Even whenever you paint over a regular screen and you paint it black, it comes black, it comes back more translucent.
It does
Does
become
it?
more translucent.
There's a photo on the plaque out front, the little photo in the round part, and the windows in that are kind of black.
Now, the divider that you had there before, it did have 3 panels on it,
Yeah.
right? So it did have 2, and this one's just gonna have a single one.
Just one single one.
So it'll match up with the seam of the window, the sash of the window. That will be
With
perfect.
black frame.
With a black frame, it will be
I
perfect.
didn't put them there, okay, so.
No.
Well, if there's no other comments,
No, it would be a 2-part motion, one to remove and replace.
do I hear a motion to remove and replace these window screens at the building at 101 Oklahoma Avenue?
So moved.
Okay,
Was that-
Nathan
oh,
moved.
Nathan, okay. And that was with the the charcoal?
No, this is
This
just
is
to
just
remove and
remove and
replace.
Okay, gotcha.
What was the motion?
To remove and replace the window screens that are now up on the second story.
Is it possible to remove one, replace one, so we can see in real life what it looks like? I have no idea.
Yeah, that really is,
I think that,
that's the whole problem, why I didn't want to take them down until we got this resolved.
I'm unable to visualize what they will look like until they're on the building.
I know, it's
I
hard.
agree with that. I think that's a great idea. I would like to see one, to see how it looks. You have such a beautiful building, and it literally is the first building you see when you come in and photographed. So, I mean, you have a gorgeous building. So seeing how, you just don't want that view blocked. You want to be able to see through.
But, some of the windows are painted red.
Yeah.
I don't totally disagree with where you guys are thinking, but I don't want to put her through the added expense of doing that. Because then she'd do one and then have to come back the next month to get that approved or disapproved, and then we'd have, because, I mean, this would turn into a several month long ordeal. And granted, we don't have a perfect idea of what it's gonna look like, but one of those two is gonna be a lot easier to see through than the existing. And I think
However,
that's-
like I said, she's been through enough, and we don't want her to ask her to replace all of them once again.
Well, I think if we approve one of the charcoal or the gray, we've approved it.
But we have a
Oh, I
motion.
was just going to say, is there a second to that?
The second to remove, I'll second that.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so with the motion to remove and replace, we have a motion and a second. Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Darrell Covington,
No,
Lisa Kennedy.
Yes.
Okay, passes 4-1.
Okay, now.
So now we would, for the,
Yeah, do I hear a motion to approve the mesh and color to be the replacement screens?
I just see that that's what she provided.
Yes. 20-inch extra strength mesh screens,
They're not 20-inch.
I'm sorry,
Extra.
No, it just says 20 extra.
20, sorry, I saw the little, I've got glasses, I need to put them
Windows are
on.
9 feet tall.
Yeah. Goodness.
With black frames and crossbar.
And it says charcoal as the color.
And
Yes.
charcoal.
But I can change whatever you all decide. I'm open.
That charcoal one was a darker swatch, the large one.
I make a motion that we approve the screens with the gray.
With the gray?
Gray is what's up there.
No, the bottom one is,
This is gray that's,
I'm talking about the extra strength mesh,
you're talking about this one.
this one over here, yeah. The
I
example
think
she
the
brought.
point that she's making, that she thinks the screen like that, the darker one, will be more translucent in the daylight.
Then I'll amend my motion to charcoal.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. So the
I was
chart,
just saying, unless Jason is more into the, I mean, he's redoing his own building, but that's what I've experienced myself.
No, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, so.
okay. Yeah, so we have a motion by Nathan for the charcoal mesh, which is basically this information she provided. And then a second by Jason. So Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes,
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
and Lisa Kennedy.
No.
Okay. Passes 4-1.
Can I just make a comment? It just
Absolutely.
seems like this whole thing is kind of burdensome to try to get something done on the building. And like, I've gotten like 5 demanding emails to take down the screens. And I've also gotten 6 citations from the city. And I'm trying to cooperate and get this done. I'm not someone that's just not neglecting it, you know, so I really think, you know, I'm retired from the federal and state and work with taxpayers, and I would have never treated a taxpayer that way. So,
And I understand your frustration. I will say that historic preservation is so important to this area of Guthrie, the town site area. And what we have is priceless, and once it's gone, it can't be replaced. So while some of the rules may seem burdensome in that way, I mean, they're there, the rules are there and established so that we can protect this. You know, not only is this a historic district, but it's a national landmark district as well. And that makes Guthrie unique throughout the country. It's one of the largest contiguous historic districts in the United States. And so I apologize if the rules seem burdensome, but they're very necessary. And as far as what you know, I think there was a communication issue to begin with, and it's what you've had to deal with shouldn't have been something that you had to deal with. If this application had come before the historic preservation, you know, we could have saved you that in the
but I
beginning.
was never told to do that, was the whole thing, until after the fact, and they said,
Well, and that's
And, you know,
unfortunate, and I apologize
I
for
have
that.
like 2 staircases that, wooden staircases outside that need to be replaced because a skateboarder has knocked into them.
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to come and get approved for that?
Did you get a copy of the rules, or did you?
I don't have any rules.
Okay, if you want to take that, I printed out the rules for the windows, so you can take that and look at it. That way you're not having to go back and
Is there
forth.
more rules?
That way you can take a
Here,
glance
here's
through
the
it.
entire design
Yeah.
guidelines,
Okay.
anything
And then
and
any-
everything ever.
Okay, thank you.
And then for any other repairs you do, you can read through that, and that'll save some headache and time.
But my opinion may be different than someone else's.
Well, those are pretty easy, pretty cut and dry. There are new exceptions to materials that have come up since that has been written. So we are able to utilize that as well, for exceptions. So,
Some of that
and
stuff that's in that book doesn't even match what, I have old pictures of my grandpa in front of that building, and it doesn't even match some of that stuff that's even in that book.
You're right.
you're right.
Because
and-
I remember when the storm windows went up in that building in the 90s.
I even remember coming to the meeting, when my grandpa trying to get approval for all that. Yeah, but I just, some of that stuff is so hard to sit there and go on when some of the original pictures don't even match up to what they're wanting. So,
Well, I passionately believe in what we're doing here in protecting, historic Guthrie. And it's not just my opinion. If Guthrie were to lose its National Register designation or its National Landmark designation at some point because these rules weren't followed, then it's not just then that the building suffers, the city suffers as well, because those are the basis of a number of grants the city advocates for. So, I'm sorry you've had the experience that you've had. I really do regret that. But I assure you, we're all up here, and we're all volunteers up here, and we're just doing this because we think it's important for the future of Guthrie.
Of course, everything, I inherited the building like 7 years ago, and everything got done so far, you can't see. Brand new sewer, and 4 air conditioners, and 2 water heaters, so.
Well, we definitely appreciate
We very
everything,
much appreciate it.
all of
I
it.
took a picture of the sewer because that's my, I took a picture because that was my window money.
Well, we do appreciate all the work that you've been doing on this building, and again, apologize that for the entire mishap in this process. It
So
was
what I
a
do about the
miscommunication.
citations?
I do believe that the citations can be taken care of and talked to with the city
got one.
manager, and Eddie Faulkner can help you with those citations.
I got one today, but he should have this done by September 8th. Because I've already been talking to him, and he's just got to order supplies in, unless he has problems with that.
Well, we really appreciate you bringing this up and coming to see us formally. And again, we do apologize for the mishap in the process.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to number 7, HPC application number 25-020. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a new Scotty's North Bail Bonds window signage for a building located at 127 North Division Street.
Oh, you skipped one. Yeah, the one right before
Oh, I
that,
did.
Madam Chair.
Did you skip
Yeah.
one?
Excuse me, I
That's all
skipped
right.
one.
Yeah, no
I'll go
problem.
back to it.
Yeah.
So we don't get out of order here. Number 6, HPC application number 25-019. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a new second-story windows on the rear facade for a building located at 114 West Oklahoma Avenue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As indicated, there's pictures, and I think there's pictures up there. The applicant has recently purchased this building and wants to replace the upper windows, which is badly needed. As you can see from the pictures, they're not only boarded up, but they're in disrepair, quite a bit of disrepair. The only issue is the proposal is, the applicant did not provide me much information other than saying they want the windows that are across the street at the YMCA, and then a brochure that was for residential. I tried to get more out of the applicant, but that's all that I had gotten. As you're probably well aware, our guidelines state that you should either fix the wood or replace it with wood. So the windows that are at the YMCA are vinyl windows, and per the guidelines would not be allowed.
So
And are you here for the applicant? Okay. And she's here to represent
the
the
applicant
applicant.
is here.
Yep.
If you'd like to come introduce yourself.
I'm Nikki Kessler here on behalf of John Pergonis for the 114 West Oklahoma.
To
as-
clear something up, this is the rear of the building.
This is the
Yes,
rear of
it's
the
a-
building.
yeah, this is the
Okay.
rear, upper story rear in the alley.
Okay.
Yep, that is correct.
From what I've been told, his biggest concern with the wood windows is he wants to replace them with metal windows. If I can tell him that if he has to match the color of the existing windows, I can ask him if he can find a metal that matches that and turn that in. Because he did mention to me the YMCA windows as well, but I did notice that those are white and the other ones seem to be more of a maroon matching the building. But if that is a concern, I can always ask him if the metal can be found in that. And his concern too with the windows is the amount of power lines run behind the window and the maintenance that would have to be done to keep up wood frames.
Any questions?
I love how you said match the color. I love that.
Now, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have approved aluminum clad.
Yeah, aluminum clad's fine. Yeah, because as you indicated, because even the federal guidelines or the Secretary of Interior for rehabilitation, aluminum clad windows or wood windows are allowed.
That's what I.
Yeah, because an aluminum clad gives the similar appearance to wood. Yeah, most just don't want to do it because they cost.
Well, we are talking about the facade that faces the alley, so.
Is this the upstairs only?
Yes, yes, right now.
I did talk to John Pagonis at Great Lengths in regards to these windows. And these are rather large windows. And when he was referencing the Y, he was referencing a singular transom for that top window and then a regular window for the bottom. So that top window would be stationary, would not open, and then the bottom windows, those would open. And then he would be able to paint the windows. And he has not chosen a paint color. So it does still have a divider in between. I asked him about the divider. He said the divider would still stay there. So the size of the windows would not change, just the height would be a 3-pane window instead of 2.
So 3 separate panes of glass?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying then the top part, the top 2 panes would be stationary?
Yes. The
Okay.
bottom would rise up and down.
Well, you're just stating that they're gonna be single hung
Single hung
versus double hung.
versus double hung. Yes, sir.
Right. That makes sense.
And then because it is in the alley and not on the front facing of the window, it did pull up some additional information from the Park Service. And that information does state that replacement windows on secondary elevations that have limited visibility, they can match in size, configuration, and general characteristics, although finer details may not need to be duplicated and substitute materials may be considered.
Questions or discussion? So if I'm understanding this correctly, what we're talking about now is the material in the windows, aluminum?
And that is what he has on his application.
It does say aluminum on this application.
Okay. Well, if there's no further discussion, then I'll ask if there is a motion.
I'll motion to approve.
What's the color of the aluminum? Does it say?
He hasn't chosen a
Right
color.
now, it says he's gonna order the window in white, so he hasn't not chosen a final color.
Then you said he would paint them?
Like I said, if that is the thing that's holding us back, is the color matching the building, or
Gotcha.
then I can mention that to him, and I'm sure that he would be happy to find a color.
Okay.
We could have, he could match it to the lower windows if needed, but he could bring that up too.
Could also go back with what's there with the
Exactly.
the brown.
Yes.
I would hate for just the lack of a color match to
Yeah.
hold something that is needed
Just
back.
looking to Order a window. Order windows.
Okay, we've had a motion.
I'll second.
Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Earl Covington,
Yes.
and Lisa Kennedy.
Yes.
5-0.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now, we'll go back to the ones I was in such a hurry for some reason. HPC application number 25-020, discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a new Scotty's North Bell Bonds window signage for a building located at 127 North Division Street.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As indicated, this is for approval of the window signage. The applicant has the window signage already up. One of the things that has been transpiring, I guess, is as we've been going through the downtown and looking at the different buildings and assessing them for minimum maintenance and that, we've also come across a few businesses that never had their signage approved in that, so this is one of them. In that. As you see, there's basically a board in the window with the name on it traditionally. Well, two things. One, it usually has to be affixed to the window, but number two, it is normally transparent in that. So with that, I'll give it back to the commission.
Is the applicant here?
Yes, he is.
Would you like to come up and explain what you're thinking here?
Well, I didn't even know I had to have any kind of approval. I rented the building. There's nothing in my lease about the signs. I didn't attach it to the building or anything. It's just sitting up in my windows. I paid quite a bit of money for those signs for someone to tell me that I can't have those in there like that. I don't have them affixed to the windows. They're not affixed to the building. I mean, I don't see where the issue is at.
Well, we certainly can provide you with the town site code and the design.
Well, I get that, but I don't
guidelines.
own the building. I'm leasing the space. And so I don't know, have anything in my lease that says anything about I have to get approval for my signs.
You're in the town, historic
No,
town
I
site
get it.
district.
I understand that now.
Yeah.
But the problem I have is I don't know what I'm supposed to use for signage because my windows have little pellet holes where somebody has been through there with a BB gun probably a long time ago. And so to affix anything on the windows would be difficult.
Well, you have several options. Do you have that in front of you? I do.
I mean, I've talked to another company in Oklahoma City that says I could put like a roll-on kind of a mesh sign that sticks to the window. Does that sound like something that would work?
Possibly, because that's what they've got at,
It's like a
Boomerang.
black mesh that you can see,
If
you
I'm
can
not
see out of it, but you don't really see in it except for where the signage is at. That's something, I mean, I've got that in the works.
but one of the design guidelines is that the sign can't take up more than 30% of the surface, the glass surface.
Oh, it would be about the same size as those signs. And those aren't near that big.
Can you put that back up, Aaron?
I mean, that window's huge. If it's my side window, I could take the sign out of that one.
Well,
But
I
that
think if it
space there
was,
is,
you know, if it was clear and you saw the window through it instead of that big white square, it would work.
right.
Closer together, yeah, kind of condense that, if you didn't have all that, you'd probably be pretty close to just a third.
Now, on the other sign, on the other side of your building, you could do the same thing, but you would have to reduce that, the size
Yeah,
of that. as
but
well.
that's the problem. I had those made and they were very expensive, so I would have to pay more money to make smaller signs. Or I can get the stuff that sticks to the window. It's like a mesh, like a
Right.
black mesh, if that will fly.
Any questions or comments?
What's the mesh you can see through, but doesn't it still take up surface space?
Yeah, probably.
In volume, I mean, like, I'm sure you're gonna want your red letters to stand out, right? So you're gonna have some kind of background on the mesh that would be white.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying, y'all just tell me what I need to do, so.
Well, I think from your perspective, like when you're inside, because I have one of these at a shop we have in Dallas where you can see, when you're on the inside, you can see out completely.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
mesh you can.
Yeah, it's really cool, but
Yeah,
I don't think that it would work on the guidelines, I think, for the city here, just based on the exterior looking into, because it would still look like this, but you could see through it from the inside, you know, but it's still not the 30% rule, right? So
Right.
I'm just saying that for the record, because I do
Yeah,
think,
I mean, if it had the appearance of basically a tinted window, but only the signage would be a third, because we have a lot of windows downtown that are black, and you can't see through them in that. So if you had the mesh, where it would basically look like almost a tinted window, that this would, see what,
Yeah.
almost like what.
It's basically a black mesh
Yeah.
with the red lettering.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
What's the material of the current signs that are?
Tracy said it was like a hard plastic
Like a hard
stuff.
plastic, okay.
PVC.
I mean, I had it professionally made here in town. I didn't think that because I didn't attach it to the building or put it outside of the building that it would be an issue. Because they're just basically sitting in the window, and I made them smaller than what I originally was going to. I was gonna make them as big as the window frame, but I didn't. So
So
I
it
just
looks
need to
like
know.
you're just wanting the name there with the phone number and to say what it is, Bell
Right.
Bonds. What about just putting the vinyl letters on the glass?
Well, that's what that mesh stuff is. It
Yeah.
rolls on there with everything on it.
But what's the,
I am,
do you know what the actual background or the color of the mesh is?
yeah, it's a black mesh that you can see through.
I don't know.
It's
what that
black
would
on the
look like.
outside or on the inside?
Do what now?
It's black on the outside,
Inside.
on the inside only,
It's on
right,
the
yeah.
inside of the window.
Yes.
It sticks to the inside of the window where we can see out and.
Mm-hmm. But on the
you-
outside, it's gonna be white like this, right?
No, it's not gonna be white. It's
The back-
all, it's gonna be
It's
all
gonna be black
black.
on both sides?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's gonna be black and red.
Yeah. It might hide your red a little bit. You might have to outline your letters.
Say that again.
I said you might have to outline your letters in white or something, right? Because when that black kind of, you wouldn't have much contrast. I'm just,
But
Came
from
through.
the outside, that black disappears, you really can't see it.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's what they use at Boomerang, and they use it in several other places around town.
Yeah. I'm just wondering for your sake, for like advertising, if the black and the red together, you're gonna be able to see it
Well, they're
that
gonna send
way.
me a preview of it. I mean, I can change colors however I want,
Yeah.
but they're gonna send me a preview of what they have done up. I just need to know what coloring I need to do or what I need to do.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I've spent quite a bit of money on those signs for that to go to waste.
Well, perhaps you can use them in another format.
Do I now?
Said perhaps you can use them in another format, so you get your money's worth out of them, but,
Yeah, I'll have to use them inside the office or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if the mesh will work, I'm fine with that.
I don't know, we've never really approved the mesh, but
Well, that pretty-
Well, that's
As
what I
long as
was
it
told
meets-
by.
As long as it
I
doesn't
talked to
exceed
Dana about it.
30% of the window,
Yeah.
I don't see why there's an issue.
Right, because like I said, the mesh part would, really
it
not be any
disappears.
different than like just a tinted window.
Right. Right.
And that, yeah.
I mean, I think it's close enough to the vinyl application that most people use.
Yeah, yeah. It would obviously be, a lot better than this, because it wouldn't stick out as a big, huge sign that takes up half the window.
Well, this is a temporary sign essentially, it's just sitting up in the window. So if he has plans to replace this with a better, more permanent fixture in the window, you can do that as well. Up to you all.
So you have some choices, I guess is what we're saying here.
Okay, so you tell me what my choices are here. I just want to I've only been open 5 months, and I'm a one-man show, so to get this thing, and then I talked to Dan, and I have lived in Guthrie since the early 80s, and I have never heard of this. Of course, I've never had an office downtown either, though. So y'all tell me what your best recommendation that I can get, that I can do. If the mesh will work, I've already got it in the process of doing. I've taken the one sign down, because I know this one doesn't take up 30%, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the colors, it's more so the size is what we're discussing, so.
You might be surprised, it probably does with the white background, if you include that as part of the sign, then it does
Yeah.
take up 30%. I mean, because I've designed window signs downtown before too, and it's 30% is less than you might think it would be.
The other thing, when we're talking about we're not talking about the full window. This is considered 3 windows.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's,
I'm,
that
I'm,
may be
like
where
I
some
said,
of
this
that-
is all brand new to me.
That may be because no, if we're looking at that
Yeah, I
full
mean-
expanse.
Yeah, I was just looking at the pane that the sign is in.
Okay,
So-
well, I mean, because the mesh is about the same size, but it's all mesh and you can see through it except for the red lettering.
Right.
So if that will work, I can use the signs inside the office if that'll work.
And you also have the choice, if you want to, as she was saying, have a different version of these signs made and then permanently attached, because,
It's easier to do the mesh and more cost effective, I'm finding out, to have the mesh made. Those signs cost me $400. The mesh stuff cost me $64. So,
right. Although talking about this, and I think the mesh would probably be fine, I hesitate to approve a sign that I haven't seen the design of.
All right,
So
well-
we may have to ask you to have the design drawn up and then come back to us and let us see the design, and we can give you final approval on that.
okay, so what do I do in the meanwhile? Because I don't want to get in trouble.
Just have your design drawn up and then go back to Dan. And
Okay.
probably we can settle this, hopefully we can settle it next month.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I just
right.
don't want to get any.
Well, I was
trouble.
going to say, I think what he was referring to was that the signs he has, those are okay now until he comes back and gets the approval for the new ones, correct? Is that
Yeah,
what
I'm
you're worried
basically
about?
saying,
Yeah,
can I leave my signs up until y'all approve it?
that's up to you guys.
I don't see
So
why
it's-
not.
I
That's gonna
consider it a
kill my
temporary
business.
I consider
sign.
it a
I
temporary.
think it makes sense.
I don't see a problem with that, yeah.
Okay, because I mean, I've got the mesh stuff in the works, and if coloring is a deal, then I just need to know. I mean, because I really don't care, whatever stands out. That's why I picked that location.
Yeah.
Well, then a temporary sign is good for 60 days.
Okay.
And when you get your design, then please, have Dan bring this
Yeah,
back to us
I'll
at our
email
next
you when
meeting.
she told me today she would have it emailed this week.
And then hopefully we can get you set
Okay.
up next month.
Because if we can, we'll have a motion in a second to table it till the next meeting.
Okay, do I hear a motion to
No.
table this until next month?
All motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Jason Wells?
Yes.
Nathan Turner?
Yes.
Valerie Duncan?
Yes.
Darrell Covington?
Yes.
And Lisa Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay, 5-0 till the September meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, thank you.
Number 8, HPC application number 25-021. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for new Rustic Teas Boutique window signage for a building located at 115 North Division Street.
The same as the previous one, this was one that wasn't previously approved. As you'll see from the picture, it's affixed to the window, as well as, this doesn't really show it, but when you look at the full picture, it's actually less than 1/3. So for the most part, it meets all of the guidelines and is not outside of anything that would have been previously approved for window signage.
Any discussion or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
One second. Jason Wells?
Yes.
Nathan Turner?
Yes.
Valerie Duncan?
Yes.
Darrell Covington?
Yes.
And Lisa Kennedy?
Yes.
All right, 5-0.
Okay. Number 9, HPC application number 25-022. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a new canopy on the front facade for a building located at 316 South Division Street.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Many of you may remember this building. It not too long ago came in for signage. It's the new Guthrie Art Center. They realized that there was quite a bit of heat that would go up against that building, and so they're looking for a little relief to that, and so they've requested to have a canopy that would go along the front. As you see, it's 22 feet by basically 3 feet in height and about a little over 3.5 in depth. And it's going to be canvas, and then the color is the fern that was provided in the packet, which is a greenish type color. So with that, give it back to the commission, and also the applicant is here if you have any questions.
The applicant's here. What information
Hope
do
this
you
is
think we
easier
should
than the
know
rest of
about
the ones
this?
you had. I've been up there, so I know exactly what you're going through. And the green's a
So this is
little
essentially
different from
gonna
that,
mount
but,
underneath the sign?
pardon me?
It's gonna mount underneath the sign?
Yes,
Okay.
it'll cover the small square windows as well as hopefully some of the big windows, yeah, or shade it.
It
anyway.
gets really hot.
It's very hot. When you get a couple $500 electric bills, it's time.
Never mind. Awning it is.
Awning pays for itself in a couple months.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, comments?
I like the fern color.
I do, I like the color very
Everything is
much.
black anymore. I like the fern.
I like
Other
the
than the
color.
one striped one we have, everything else has been black. I like the
That's
fern.
true.
It looks great. Good choice.
Well, if there are no questions or comments, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Seems to be.
I was going to say, it's a Nathan and Jason show. All right. Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Daryl Covington,
Yes.
Lisa Kennedy.
Yes.
All right, 5-0.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, well, we're moving along.
Great.
Number 10, HPC application number 25-023. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for new paint colors and an update on the progress of an approved minimum maintenance plan for a building located at 224 West Harrison Street.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next few items, this one was primarily put on there for the paint colors, but given that there is a minimum maintenance plan and the applicant has the following buildings, he had an update on this, so we thought we would throw that in there, if you want to say as well. The primary application is for new paint colors. The paint colors were provided in the application, but the applicant can probably better explain what colors are going to go where. And then obviously there was the update, so at this, give it back to the commission, and the applicant, as you can see, is here.
Well, welcome back, Mr. Ladd. Tell us about what the paint colors, we see them here, but how are they going to work on the door?
Sure. And I'm sorry, on the doors themselves, it will not go on those doors. That's natural wood. There is a picture in the report where we've refinished that front door. It was stained and varnished and, so it's been spar varnished and stained already. And that's what kind of made us look at the colors, because everything was red, white, and blue for the last 20 years. And then when we refinished the door, it looked really nice, and it kind of looked like a carnival of it. And so we had actually bought all those paints, and we're going to go with the original colors that were on the building. But several people seeing the door even would make comments as they walk by, hey, what colors are you going to paint it? And I go, well, the same ones. And they go, well, it looks like a carnival over the door. So essentially where we got the color concept from, I guess for lack of a better term, the burgundy looking color is a pretty strong match. That was out of what Ace says is the approved colors, but I've heard they really aren't, but they seem like they're liked colors. But that matches the bricks very well. So if something falls into an area where, we want to complement very closely to the brick, that color works great. The door, and it doesn't look that dark, but that I held up, is that dark square matches that. So like above the door, I looked at, could we restore it? And I talked to the guys, can we get, just sand that back and stain and spar varnish it too? And they said no, there had been, a lot of fixing of the window through the years and things like that. So we have to paint it. So that, if we painted it that color, I think it would blend well with the rest of the door we've already
What are
done.
you, which piece are you talking about painting that color?
So that's like above the door itself, so like there's an arched area above
That
and the
arched
trim
transom.
around. Yeah, and so right now it's
Hey, Aaron,
just.
can you go to the next one there?
Oh, there you go, okay. And by the way, that's the before picture.
Yeah.
The doors do look different in the front. You were right on calling us on that. And so, yeah, now with the new doors, that upper kind of, I guess you would call fan area. Thank
So-
you.
This area?
No,
No,
lower,
The transom.
right in
The
there.
transom
Yeah,
of the door.
now.
Down, there.
That.
Yes, there you
Talking
go.
about this right here.
So it's just small pieces, which, like
So
in a
you're gonna
perfect
paint
world,
the
would have just
entire-
been, pardon me?
The entire transom here, that dark brown color?
Yes, because then it would just kind of match into, it would look like kind of the door, and then along down, it's hard to see again in this picture. Dan, do you have one of just that front door by any chance?
There's
No?
one in our
Okay, I'm sorry.
package.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
didn't
this.
provide that one up there. I thought the
Okay.
whole building would be better.
Okay, yeah, if you look at that one, that'll give you a better idea of that. Thank you, yes, that's it.
This-
Let's say, yeah, that, yeah.
So
I don't have one
it
for up
looks
here.
like, in this picture, there's blue, and then it looks like a brick color, and then on the inside, it looks like where there was yellow before.
Yeah.
So what I would think to assume is the blue would become the brown, and then the brick would remain that cherry wood color.
And
were
actually,
you wanting to do
that
it?
would look good too. We were looking at making it more the brown, so it'll complement, kind of, so it'll tie into where the doors, see how they did the brick joint here
Yes.
in red? That could either, and that's why I picked a brick color too, is if you want to
Right.
keep that, we could keep that
Well,
brick.
that's the way it would still work, because this
Yes,
is
and
still that
even what
brick
you said would
color,
look great, too.
and the blue
Mm-hmm,
would complement your wood color of
yes.
the door.
Yes, so lose that blue, kind of go that, and the red we picked is slightly richer than the,
Then, yeah,
One
this
that
cherry
you see.
wood,
Yes,
that would look
yes.
very pretty.
okay.
The only concern I would have at painting this entire thing, the brown color, the door color, is that a lot of the detail is going to visually disappear.
And that's why I did pick these other colors, so that we could kind of accent areas.
Right, you don't want the blue and the red anymore, but the
So this-
fact that they varied those colors really makes the detail pop out.
Agreed, but like this would still be, this would be red, and what she was saying I agree with, would be brown through here, this dark brown.
Yeah.
And we could bring in these other colors. If I like multiple colors too, and that's why we put this color palette here, is as accents. So picture
I just
that
think the
being
brown
used in
and the
lesser.
burgundy here are gonna, they're gonna
You think
flow
they'll wash?
together because there's, they're the same tone and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Well, it might be pretty to play with it, because your,
Sorry about me
Your
coming up
door-
here, but
That's
that's
fine.
the easiest point.
so your, it looks like your accents though are
That-
a
and-
lot closer to this.
In this
Yeah,
gold
Or
here
this gold.
matched a lot. That's why I picked this. That matched
could
the
be really
handles.
pretty and really regal
And there's
if
a
you put that
little,
in.
I agree, because this would offer some
It
contrast.
would offer a lot of contrast if you were to replace even the blue with this gold.
I like that idea a
That
lot.
would give you a lot of
Yeah.
contrast in between and tie in what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And maybe,
Even if you want to tie your brown in, make your
Just in the
woods,
small
woods,
amount.
or make, you know. It's just gonna have to take some looking at to see what will be the nicest contrast, I think.
and you're right. I think those two would have
Yeah,
just
I
got
would
lost.
encourage you to look for
I
contrast.
agree with you. And I do like all three of these, that, like I said, this gold really matched the hardware. And that's the original. It took us a lot of digging, but we found the missing handle and all kinds of things.
Actually, of these three colors, I like the gold.
The
best.
gold, yeah, I think if you're gonna go with contrast colors to match this door,
Yeah.
it would be these
These
and
three.
that gold.
Okay, yeah, and there are other windows, and we want to kind of carry that theme through, and that's why these other colors exist. This color is very much, in earlier, like you can see it there where it has the C21,
Yep.
which is really Rule 21. You know, those obviously, we want to keep, anything that's kind of the stone color, kind of bleeds the stone color. And this was a pretty good match on it as well, so.
And the
But then on the
awnings.
background, kind of lose the chip blue painting. By the way, the missing teeth are gone. We fixed all those too.
Are you painting the canopies or not?
I would like to. And so that was the other thing that I'd open it to discussion. I'm definitely not attached to the blue on those as well.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure. so.
Yeah, yeah. And then in between, at the minimum maintenance, because we got other buildings, I want to get this painted, go and then come back and get more details. But I thought about that too. I get why they did it. It was the blue bells, so they painted everything blue.
Yes.
But I think it could look more interesting, and that's why I added additional colors to the palette. I didn't know whether it'd be more appropriate to go because it is metal, to go with one of the golds to make it look like a metal, or whether it's to more look like canvas and using one of the canvas colors would be more appropriate. But I do think something would, especially once we paint everything else those colors, we'd want to change out the awnings as well. And there is a large space that goes between the two trim pieces too, with the corrugated steel, and so that's a predominant color too. So, and you can see how it wraps in behind the Rule 21 over the door. So we kind of want a nice base color behind there that kind of pulls it all together as well. So.
And the windows are in your minimum maintenance plan as well, so you're wanting to take these colors all the way up.
Yes, yeah, it'll go up all the way into, and as a matter of fact, we had so many rain days, we'll talk about that a bit, that I didn't want to sit on my hands, so all those windows you see on the left side, which would face west, there's 7 of them along there. We've rebuilt all those with wood, glass, and so we're going to change them out, but we want to do it all in the, we're going to paint them, and then as we go to change them out, we're going to paint the trim around those windows as well. So yeah, we want to take the new, and that's what made me think about it. We're going to go to so much effort painting it, we might as well paint it an appropriate color.
I like the colors that you've chosen, if you go with our recommendations. My concern here, though, is you're asking us to approve painting the transom for the window, but we don't know exactly what color, how it's going to be. And what I would prefer before I approve anything is to see a mock-up.
Okay.
What that's going to look like. And I think, you'll have to do that for the windows as well when you come back to the commission to do all
That sounds fair.
So-
Am I kind of going the right direction color palette wise? Just kind of pick the locations and mock it
I
up?
don't have a
Yes.
problem with these colors.
Okay.
Does anybody else? I mean, I think they're historically appropriate, and I
Good.
think they'll look good.
Well,
You guys think about this more than anybody else probably, so I appreciate the opinion, so
and
feel
then,
free.
if you could create a paint schedule
Yes.
that would point to the spokes of the fan, that's gonna be this color, and the arch, the crown mold, this, just a schedule of colors.
Okay.
For each architectural feature.
Amazing.
Okay. And then maybe show them, because I liked how, because I think you were pointing on that would have gotten lost. Like, one of our other buildings, we have that where we have 2 colors that you can't tell that, if you really study it, it's kind of cool that it's 2 colors, but it was tough to tell, so that was a good catch, so.
Well, and that's
Yeah, I can come
very
back with that.
Victorian technique was to pick out the details in different colors, not the wild, San Francisco colors, but in these colors, so that's perfectly appropriate. But I personally won't vote to approve a paint schedule unless I see it before I do.
And I think that's fair, and I've got other, I've got the focus over on the Victor right now, so I can submit that. And I think that's wise anyways.
That's my personal opinion, but what are the opinions of the other commissioners?
I don't know that, is it, if he's in the right color scheme, do we dictate what he paints, what?
I think that this is just my opinion. I've been through this before, and people have just given a broad idea of the colors, and then when it goes up, it's a total shock. And then I'm fielding calls from the public who are upset that I voted to do that. So, like I said, I won't be able to vote to approve this unless I see a paint schedule, but I can always abstain.
So we're just looking for some kind of schedule to approve, but we're not making color recommendations.
No, we approve of his color
Yeah.
recommendations. I just want to see what he's going to do before he does it.
Yeah.
But again, that's my opinion.
So a mock-up of the area with the appropriate colors and what area?
And I think that'll prove useful to you, Mr. Ladd.
I think
When
so.
you're considering what you're going to paint the
Right.
windows and things like that, because this is probably going to be the most detailed area of your building, and you want to build on that for the rest of the building.
Yeah.
I would think that would be the easier way to do it.
No, I think there's wisdom in it, yes.
And Larry, I mean, I actually have a dismantled old bar with a transom kind of similar that has stained glass inside of our building, if you ever wanted to come look at it. But it's all brown, like it's not, there's no accent colors, but it's period. Pretty interesting, so anyway, just offering that up if you ever want to check it out. Because if we're going on personal preference, I would think like the brown, like you were talking original, I think would be great because it accents the stained glass.
So it kind of looks like,
Yeah, it looks like it's all one piece, you know.
and
it's a-
and it is one of the issues that we have painted is you got colored glass coming through.
Yeah.
And so those are colors, and you got brick, which
Yeah.
is colors, and,
Yeah, it's just like us, but we all have different opinions of what looks good. you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want to get in this thing of like, well, I think this and I think that, and, you know.
But that's
It's
what the
your building.
mock-up would help you make up your mind.
Yeah.
Larry, what color did you guys think about doing your middle trim that you have there? Did you have an idea of what you were going to color, what paint color for all of the, right now it's like looks almost gray.
on the front door,
No, on the building above where you have your awnings. You have metal trim up there.
oh,
Had you even thought about it yet?
yeah.
The middle piece above the awning.
Well, and I think
Like
that's,
these?
yeah,
then
and that's why I
also
was
your
saying
other
is,
pieces?
so I was gonna take one of the,
Or were you gonna wanna do the front first and
Accent.
kind of move up and see what that looked like?
well, I was gonna go with the door, kind of like he had mentioned, all in brown originally was my thought, but I agree, you lose some of the, I like how it highlights the different colors, okay? Textures of the wood and interest. So up in here, this is where I was gonna bring all those different colors in, and I was gonna kind of paint a section, look at it, and then adjust it. A lot of it just had to do with time. I didn't have much time to pull that together, but I'm not against coming out with a paint schedule on it and mocking some things up, and, here's what the colors look like next to each other, so. Because I understand, you're right, if I take those colors and use it right, it'll look good, and if I use it poorly, it'll look bad.
Well, those doors
And-
are so beautiful. You want those to pop.
Yeah.
You did a great job on those doors.
Oh, thank
That
you.
looks great.
I might also mention that the Oklahoma Territorial Museum has some books in their library with what were the popular paint color and painting systems. It's for residential homes, but it could, you could get some valuable information and maybe some ideas. And so they could help you at the Territorial Museum with that.
That's a good idea, yeah. I kind of Googled it and got very overwhelmed.
That happens.
Because then I go in the comments section and I go, oh, that looks really good, and I read the haters in the comment section, and I'm all, oh, no, I don't know what I'm doing. But there's a lot of good options out there, and we did work really hard on the front door, and so I hate to lose it.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want that to keep spreading, so.
No, I think being able to try to capture that will be really great.
Good.
It'll be really great, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, I as much as I don't want to go back to the drawing board, I think we have to probably draw it out.
I think it would be helpful.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yes.
Okay, well, do I hear a motion that we table this?
I was going to say, in this case, we
Well,
could
you just
table it.
approve the palette.
Well, I don't think we need to approve a palette until we
Yeah.
actually, we can, but it would be,
Right.
think.
Because we can
it's
just table it
it's an
and basically, table it till the applicant gets the appropriate paint schedule for the building. So that way, if it's not ready for September, it can come in October or whatever, but table it until, he basically brings back the info.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Do I hear that motion?
Yeah, make that motion to table.
Okay.
I'll second.
Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
Lisa Kennedy,
Yes.
5-0. Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on to the minimum maintenance update for the Bluebell building. Dan, do you have anything you want to?
Not really. You were provided what I was provided by the applicant in that, and obviously he can speak to it and answer any questions you had. I will say that it was the one that was approved for the, now I gotta look. The brickwork and upper windows were to be done within 6 weeks, and then the rest of it, the windows, doors, and that had 6 months. The applicant will be able to address, there has been some work done on the building, but like I said, Mr. Ladd can go ahead and fill you in.
If, I'm not being critical, but I'll be honest, I found this your format very difficult to figure out what had been done and what hadn't. So,
Okay, sorry about that.
But, so if you will elaborate on this and
Sure.
describe what you've done so far.
I didn't know, like, I didn't have a sample of what to do. So what I did was I took what the plan was, and then I addressed each of the things that were in the original plan and just kind of put a little arrow with an update to that, and then I put the photos at the end. I did think later it'd probably be better to have, talked about the subject with the photos. So anyways, sorry that was difficult.
Okay, well, if you'll just start, the first page that we're looking at is facing east.
And I don't, let me grab my laptop.
Here.
Or as they, you can use this one.
Are you?
Got it.
I also have it on
Run it
my,
back and forth.
nope, I have it on my iPad too.
We're still on the Bluebell, Aaron.
Yeah, so on the Bluebell, I was handed it, so the first page says facing east. You've got the picture up there.
Aaron, can we go back to the Bluebell? I don't know if I have all the sides. Nope, wrong way.
Yeah, it's all right.
One more. There we go.
Okay, and so, but on the picture that you're all looking at, you'll notice that the upper windows there, it's hard to tell in this photo, but we went through and looked at every single window throughout the whole project, and any of them that, okay, which ones need to be replaced, which ones need to be removed temporarily until we secure them. And these ones we decided needed to be replaced. So we hit a bunch of rain days, so actually, in the last couple of months, we went in. I was going to work with Maker, but unfortunately, it doesn't do the wood, so we did. And so those 14 windows are 7 holes, 12 windows, 12 panes. Those have been rebuilt, and so they're just waiting for install. But when we take those out, we'll paint that trim and put the window in. And obviously, we'll paint the trim. Right now, it's just wood with primer on it, primer white. And then as you look down the photo, you'll notice the missing pieces of corrugated. They've been replaced, and we have removed the chipped paint. We'll probably do additional as we go through and paint. And so that's just ready for us to repaint that as well. And we have a scaffolding with an extension that'll allow us to reach that. Earlier, we did it with a truck and a ladder, and I didn't feel good about it, so we're going back out with the scaffold now. You can't see due to the shade on this photo, but those lower windows, we went through and sanded them all down and got them all finished and primered. and they were ready for paint. As a matter of fact, we started even painting repainting it the red and blue. So that started getting done, and that's when we stopped realizing we wanted to change the colors on the paint. But basically, that whole side is just very close to being done once we pick the paint color. I kind of rushed the schedule, and that's something worth talking about. We had a lot of rain, and I went to a SHPO seminar once, and they said always wait 4 days after a rain. We mainly worked on this one in May. We had, I think it was 11 days we could paint. And so we did it, but I kind of squeezed it because we ran around the corner. I'll get to that painting too. So we got about 100 feet of it painted and primered rather, and partially painted. But this week we went back in and repainted, or last week I guess it was, repainted some of that west facing because we painted it too early. It's really essential that dries completely or it steams the paint. So I've actually painted that twice since then. So anyways, that's that east facing. So are there any questions on that? I know I put pictures, I think, at the end, but I might not have. So the main floor windows, I'm talking about ground floor. The windows on the second floor are obviously the second floor double hung windows. And then the trim section, normally that's at the top of the building, but the Bluebell has it around the midriff. So when I'm talking about missing trim sections and stuff, that's what that's referring to.
So in view of the deadlines that you had on this for the minimum maintenance, what do you estimate?
That was, well, we were moving, when we had the first meeting, the focus was, let's get the Bluebell, and then obviously we would jump to anything that was public safety or issues, like, we didn't have the structural engineer yet on the hose tower. We were working on the lens windows, which we pulled all the dangerous ones out. We want to address all those things, but our main focus was the Bluebell. I got a notice that I needed to put together the plan, which I did. Then I got a notice that I had to be here, and I was here, and I thought the marching order was that I was going to work on the Bluebell. And so the next meeting I didn't go to, I didn't mean that as disrespect. I never got a letter on that one. And so I just didn't know I was supposed to be here. And I don't necessarily disagree with the idea, because I thought it was a good idea. It shifted my attention off of the Bluebell and onto the Victor South. Is the first corner you see as you look at the Victor, in the back alley of the Lens. And so I kind of shifted my attention over that direction, and it was kind of good timing because at that point, with all the other things we were doing, we realized, okay, maybe we have to consider the colors of the paint. But I thought I got a lot done in that first 30-day window along that. Like we had, I heard, and again, I apologize for missing that meeting. That was not my intent. I would have been here had I known. It was in the body of a text, and that was, email. I get about 100 emails a day, and I just didn't see it, so I apologize. But I would have been here, but I forgot what I was saying, but anyways, so I do apologize for that. But we were moving along on that. And then when you turn north face, that's the corner door, which we've obviously now got the door done. There was, and I have not done those windows. Those, it looks like we're going to be able to restore the ones that are there. Facing north, just to speed it along, the next page, We did the main floor windows there, and did all the paint, and then inspected the above windows and made sure there wasn't anything we needed to secure on them, just kind of a safety issue. And the metal, some of the stuff I forget until I kind of even look at my windows. The metal trim, it's hard to tell in the photo, that's on the right side. I'm on the facing north page. That goes over what used to be, it was a photo gallery and some other things, a studio off to the right. It hung down too, so we resecured it and got it all reattached and secured. And again, we went in and prepped it for paint. I'm looking at the facing north, same thing, we did that doorway, we reglazed all the glass that's over the doorway, over the transom. There's like a 9-light window, we reglazed all of it, restored that whole area, primed all that area, and it's ready for paint. And then down the alley, there was a few deals as well. I guess I didn't have a page on that. Let me see if it's in the photos.
So he has to wait another 30 days just to get the paint schedule, once
Sure.
we have it been approved, right? To be able to restart or get to the point where he can actually paint. Well, you've primed everything, so, right? Everything, the surface that you're going to paint has been primed?
It's primed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And part of it, we did, because we did buy the blue paint, we did paint some of it, but we want to paint back over that as well.
Anything add to all that, or
I'm sorry, I have trouble hearing. So,
is that your full report? Or I don't want to interrupt you if you're still going.
oh, no, you're fine.
No, we're just here to approve or disapprove his plan, and I think his plan is great.
Yeah, it was more for an update, because as indicated, the brunt of it was for 6 months, which he's still within in that. So it was to give an update, since we were going to talk about colors anyway.
And Larry, whenever you come back, the corner door that's facing northwest
Yes.
needs to be refinished. Are you going to paint that, or are you going to refinish that to be natural wood like the front door, do you know? Are you going to include that on your paint scheme?
It's, the unfortunate part is that is a metal door.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's going to be painted. Definitely gonna be painted.
We inherited a hodgepodge of unusual, every door is completely different and strange.
Yes.
The corner door that y'all liked and we liked, that was, to my best guess, that's original. And so that's why we fought so hard to keep it. As you get along Harrison, you have a wood door, which I actually bought at a garage door because they had it was just a vacant door. I don't know if any of you remember or not, but it was just a piece of plywood painted. And so it was painted purple for a while, and then we painted it white, and then we finally found that garage door, and so we put that in. That was, I don't know, a decade ago. But it needs refinishing. It's a cool-looking door. I got Joseph to take a look at it, and we're not 100% sure if we could save that one. We would like to, because it's a very neat door. So that's going to be our best shot, and we might even leave it where it's at, and at least it'll look attractive. Again, it's not a functioning door. Under it is just a wall. To the right, there's a red door it's called Miss Lizzie's. If you've been here long enough, you know what I'm talking about. But it leads upstairs, so it is a passage door. Through the years, somebody took it and actually cut it down, so it's kind of strangely cut, and it doesn't seem to be original, and it's been damaged pretty bad. And so we're trying to figure out that one. I found a door that might work to replace it. That is an original old door with the transom, the normal height that it should be. But we're still trying to make sure that we can fix it. And if so, I'll bring it to you to see if you guys would approve that swap out. Okay, now let's talk about the corner. It functions well and it's metal, and so probably this round we'll probably paint it, but I'd love to swap it over to a beautiful door, because it's a presented door, because
Yes.
just so everybody's on the same page, that's another beveled door that's facing almost more predominantly than the front door. Like the front door, you have to kind of start turning the corner to see, and it winds up in a lot of photos, so I love that it looks great. But this one, even though it's leading to a secondary room, it's very predominant, and you notice it, and I'd like to do it justice, but I haven't found a replacement, and I've got a lot of places to put money, so we might need to paint it this round to get things minimum maintenance and then come back. And
Well, I just
sorry
noticed-
about such a long
No,
answer
great.
to
It
a
just-
simple
It
question.
has not been something we had talked about so far, and I just wanted to make sure you didn't exclude it when you bring back your
Yeah,
plans.
oh,
for
that's a great
paint.
idea.
So I wanted to make sure you
Yes.
didn't exclude it in your plans.
Yes.
Okay. Or any other door in between or window.
And don't let that really drawn out answer make it scared to ask others. So,
Well, you're fine. I just want to be very thorough
Yes,
that
yes.
whenever you're coming back, we're not just looking at this one side or just this one side or just this one door, or specifically that you cover everything. When you start painting, you want to be able to paint as much area as possible at one time.
yes, definitely. And I do know that I'm probably going to paint this one and then throw it away or sell it, but we'll see. We'll
Just
see.
trying
You know,
to
it does
save
function well.
you with
Yeah,
effort.
yes.
So, yes.
Well, thank you for the update.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
And on that door replacement, do I need to get an application on that to you? Like, because I'd like to do that at the same time as,
The paint.
yeah,
Just let me know and we'll add it.
Yep.
okay.
You can put it on the same
So on the
application.
paint, okay.
Yeah,
I'll give you information
Yeah.
on it, and that's the Miss Lizzie's door, so.
yeah.
I do
Okay,
know
so we don't need any further action on this one.
Nope.
Okay, stay here though. Number 11, HPC application number 25-007, discussion and potential action on a request for the approval of a minimum maintenance plan, for a building located at 202 West Harrison Avenue, the Victor Building.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This was originally went to the April 7th HPC meeting. At that time, the applicant was given information to provide back to the commission. On April 8th, we had sent an email to the applicant on what would be needed for the May 5th meeting. As the applicant indicated, he wasn't available at that meeting. So at that meeting, the Historic Preservation Commission put forth an initial work plan, which required the minimum maintenance of the corner angled portion that had to be completed within 60 days. On the, and then inform the applicant on May 7th that that was what the commission's decision was. And the applicant has started work, but it's not completed. And again, the applicant has provided you a update and obviously can go into that. We're on the Victor
That's the
building.
firehouse,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're on the
So-
Victor building now.
I'm understanding correctly, we're not approving the minimum maintenance plan for the Victor Building, we're asking for an update.
No, he's at his 60-day window, so he either is in trouble or you give him more time. Because it's not complete as to what was originally required by the commission. Yeah. Go back one more.
There we go.
Okay, thoughts, comments, questions from the commission? So it looks like you've done a bit of work on the Victor building, but you haven't completed everything that we
No.
asked you to complete in, what was it, 60 days?
Was that just for the Oriole Corner?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Because
So what
after
el-
that, he was going to have to come back for the rest of it.
So what all is lacking that was supposed to be completed within this time period that has not?
Well, we did the front door. Again, this is before. And so we were able to completely restore it, sort of like we did the other door. With the schedule, my wife kept track of every rain day. Our original plan was to do the whole bay window from the outside, because that seemed like the obvious approach. We were going to get a bucket and start doing it. It does take an extended bucket, and it does take us kind of shutting down that whole corner while we do it. But the weather kept shifting on us constantly. Like she actually kept track of it all. We had a total of, in May, there were 9 days that it was paintable, 8 days in July. The problem is, which would have been kind of doable, but it seemed like the weather was always guessing wrong too. Like we'd have everybody show up and we were planning on painting, and then it would rain because they said it was going to be dry, and then it would switch the other way, and I'm going, I could have been out there painting. So I shifted the strategy, and it's working really well. Maybe you guys have seen us the last week working on it. We've got a scaffolding with an extension, which allows us, and I had to special order all this stuff because it has to be 22 inches wide to fit through that bay window. And so we were able to bring that scaffold, just roll it straight out. Everybody's on OSHA approved, harnesses and everything else. It's all Metal Tech scaffolding. It's all safe. But it allowed. So what we did is we took the window out. We started on the third floor because there's more space to roll around, and we were able to drop those windows, push out. As a matter of fact, even though I dressed up out of respect of you guys, I'm painting my fingers now because even though it painted, we were able to get paint kind of from the waist up on that that you're seeing, because it's metal. You can. The hard part of painting after rain is wood, because it soaks in and it takes long. I've got one little, I forgot what it's called, densiometer or something like that you put in the. A guy spoke at SHPO, and he says, we get 25 years on west-facing Oklahoma walls. And I thought, that's impossible. And he said, that's the way you do it, dry. So I tried to make sure we did paint some of the wood there, just because we were there. It did rain very, very lightly, but I forgot what, I'm not on my 4 days, but we were out there painting. We did rebuild the window that needed to be rebuilt. The other one could be popped up. And so everything's moving along, but it's not done.
What remains to be done?
That on the aerial bay, the second floor, there's one window we still want to rebuild on it. And we'll need to paint it. So we'll need to do the same thing. Now that we're doing this, there is one thing I would like to talk to you guys about. But I still want to do this. So I'm going to tell you what I'd prefer to do because it's more efficient. But I agree, I want to finish this aerial bay because it's so apparent in town, okay? And we've already gotten comments, just doing the door we did, and then now we're doing the top. People are commenting about it. So I do want to finish that. And so I agreed with it, but every single time we take that scaffolding down and move it to another floor or another building, it takes hours. And what would be really smart is, so I would like to finish the bay, and then I'd like to get back up into the ballroom and just work my way down because it's a big open room and we can move the scaffolding. The second floor, I still can do it, but we have to take the scaffolding down, get it into the room, set it up, put it out the window. Then you got to take it down, go to the next room. So it'll be a little slower. I think we get our fastest response going through the top window, and I've got some guys that are willing to work the ground level at the same time. So that way we're doing kind of the top and the third floor, and then we'll come back and do the second. But anyways, with all that said, I still want to finish the aerial. How many days have we been?
Okay, well,
I'm trying to think, we're probably, if weather will work with us, and it looks like it's supposed to, I think we could probably, we get that aerial, that bay window done. We're pretty close. And our system now is working great. Like we've got, if you drive by it now, it looks pretty painted from the waist up already.
Okay, Dan, when this plan was developed, we identified that as the major concern for the building, is that correct?
Yes.
That he had 60 days? to-
Yes.
So, you're not finished. Tell me how long it's going to take you to finish.
That's why I said, probably
Now,
for that,
give me a time.
yeah, so that aerial bay will take me about another week to finish.
So if we do consider giving you an extension to that, in 30 days, you should be completely done with the aerial window.
On the corner, yes.
Okay?
And that gives me room for rain and stuff. Like, to give you an idea, since May, we've had a total of 56 dry days, 28 paint days. So it's been we had tornado watches, and that's counting every Saturday and Sunday and everything. That was a total of 56 dry days and 28 paint.
The question that we're faced with right now is whether we decide that there's a penalty for not finishing in 60 days, or if we're going to give him an extension. So I need to hear what you guys are thinking.
I think it's great you're making progress. I mean, so the aerial, when you're talking about the scaffolding, you'd finish the aerial and go back to the third floor, or you'd keep it on the second and do all those windows?
Right now, it's on the third floor.
So you'd take it down to the second to do
To
that?
finish, because once we get it started, I do want to finish that, because that's a continuous piece.
And then you take it back to the third and then go all the way down?
Yeah, because the third floor is completely open, and it has greater exposure on the windows than the second floor because of the sun shade, you're hitting those upper floors more.
I mean, for
It's-
me personally, it seems like you've had a couple months of progress, and I don't know why we would want to complicate that with a fine or, I think it's great, so.
Well, thank you, and part of it is, maybe we got obsessed with doing a good job on the doors, and we could have moved through those faster, but we're trying to do them all right as well. Like, we really,
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. There's
Yeah,
also a safety
yeah.
concern, so speed matters as well.
So since I wasn't here at the meeting when this was voted on, it was 30 days that he had to, 60 days to complete that front section.
Yeah,
front
because there
facade.
was some concern that the windows were in such bad shape, they could.
Safety. And then the
Thank you.
fine was, what was set at that meeting as far as?
It's set per the code. The code allows us to have a citation on a daily basis for any, and it's roughly $285 a day. And so we can issue that daily as long as the issue is still an issue.
So he had a 60-day grace period, and if he didn't complete that, it would be $285 per daily as a citation.
Yes,
Okay.
or it could be one.
And the 60 days was up when?
Would have been about a week ago.
1 week
Yeah, it's a
ago.
week ago. Because this was the next available meeting. Yeah.
I'd really like to keep my money moving towards the progress.
Yes.
And again, we didn't even have 60 dry days to work on this. I want to do it not just fast, where you're going, oh, okay, we're done, and then we're here in 2 years because the paint's coming off the building.
Right.
I really tried to push it forward.
So my only question is, if the citation was on this front part, why didn't you just stay focused there instead of doing the primer on the windows on the outside in the other areas?
We'd started that earlier, and then we did go in, put more paint, because we were afraid that that primer, you want to cover. And so in that, I knew that there was going to be a delay on the decision. We went in and wanted to protect the work we'd already done. And so we got some of that painted. And again, I didn't want to not be working for, I didn't want to do a bad job just to get it done by the deadline on this, just to have to redo it. So I went and got windows on the Bluebell constructed on those rain days and built, because, you know, I thought overall it's best that I keep the whole project moving forward, because I only have 6 months on it too. But you know, I'm confident that, you know, if I come back next meeting and if I'm supposed to be here, I'll be here. If it helps a little bit, I did show up in, what was the meeting, July, when nobody else did. So I did do a makeup all by myself. I didn't know we didn't have one, but I do think, you know, if I had 30 days, I could get that aerial finished. And again, even though it's inefficient, because I agree, it's kind of weird to go down, and I think at this point, now that we started it, we need to finish that. So,
But we should need a motion to extend.
Either extend or enact the fines.
No, I think we need to make a motion to, I'll make a motion, we extend
Thank
the plan
For how long?
additional 30 days.
30 days, okay.
thank you.
I'll second.
All right. Yeah, so a motion and a second to give the extension for 30 days. Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
and Lisa Kennedy.
Yes.
Okay.
So you get to keep your money for now.
Thank you, guys.
But it better go in there.
You'll see me out there. I will get it done.
Okay, that, move on to item 12, HPC application number 25-009, discussion and potential action on a request for the approval of a minimum maintenance plan for a building located at 111 South 2nd Street, the old fire station.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This one also was at the April 7th HPC meeting. That was one where it was a similar scenario where he was supposed to come back to the next meeting with information. Didn't make it at that meeting, which was the May 5th meeting. The Historic Preservation Commission required that they provide a structural analysis because there was concern on the tower in the building, and at the time did not want to move forward with the specific maintenance plan if there were structural issues, because that was obviously going to take precedent. So included in your report, or in your staff report, was the structural analysis done by a licensed engineer. In short, it said it's structurally sound in that. So it basically just needs to, you know, be made to look nicer now, not any major structural. So the commission does need to decide on a time frame, whether it's certain aspects of the building, the entire building, or how you want him to move forward with that particular building. If, again, if it's just getting the hose tower up to date, you know, windows, all the above, that type of thing. Because again, previously it was just to get the structural analysis.
So what was the, said it was in pretty good structural shape?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went in, on the structure, I'm sorry, you asked about the structural engineering on the, yeah. As a matter of fact, Jim Hayes, the structural engineer that took a look at it, actually said he went inside, took measurements of all the metal. It's really a metal building that has a facade of wood on the one side, and then on the other three sides, wood covered with tin. What the structural engineering part is the metal framework that goes up. And so what he explained to me is he looked at how it was bolted to concrete and how it was set, and he did the engineering as if that tower was out in the middle of a field and not leaning and bolted against a two-story brick building. And he said, it'd still be standing today, because if you look at the load factor, it's very low because it's a small building. And the structural engineering, or the metal structures that they have inside of it are so large, it actually could have been a larger building and still be standing. But since they used those apparatus and brought them into whatever it is, a 6 by 6 foot, he says it's ridiculously sound, so.
Okay, so no work at all has been done on.
Oh, work that's been done, I'm sorry, no, I was told not to until, I'm not allowed to do anything on the building,
Yeah.
yes.
Right,
yes.
and that's why I was saying you basically.
I'm sorry, I don't hear very
Yeah,
well. so.
need to approve some type of work plan now moving forward, because again, we're going to wait on anything else until the structural analysis was done.
Okay. Well, we have a minimum maintenance plan.
Yep.
It's established.
Yep,
So what we really need to consider then is putting a time limit on this and what we want that to be. And I understand you've got a lot of work.
Yes, I do.
And, 3 other buildings on this. So we're aware of that.
Okay.
But we need to discuss what would be fair and what we want to see anyway. So any comments, thoughts? Boy, you guys are not a chatty bunch.
I'm trying my hardest not to be. I like to look at anything falling off or broken.
Well, I was concerned about the safety of the building, but if that is no longer a concern.
Yeah.
Same, that's not a concern. So, if you've got windows on the front of your building, on the second floor, any panes that are broken, clearly those need to be replaced.
Right,
you know,
right.
And fixed. So, I understand it's on Second Street, so it's not necessarily a huge thoroughfare, but it is picking up traction. And it coming into fall, it is going to get more traction. So,
Right.
and the hose tower, although it might be structurally sound, does have some wood pieces falling off of it. So securing those wood pieces would be fantastic. And securing, front-facing windows. Since there are so many other buildings that are, I'm not going to say more important because every building is important, but looking at it from a safety perspective, you don't want pieces of wood falling off and hitting people or pieces of glass.
Yeah. And you just outlined, just because as a building owner, I have people will make comments about different things, and even myself, I'll notice things. I agree that especially the, street facing is important. We've gotten up there and painted it a couple times, but it's time for it again, and the windows up above need attention like the other buildings. In the hose tower, even though it's a back alley located item, I agree with you, it's got boards that are hanging off of it, and it made us all, including me, think maybe it's falling over. So, I think those are the heightened concerns, if you will, at least from my perspective. And then we do have some additional windows that are less of a risk, and the whole building needs to be addressed, and I put it already in the report. But those, I agree with you, those are the two that I think, not to throw myself under the bus, but that's like one of 3 standing wooden hose towers, I believe, left in the United States. So it made actually the list of endangered species
yes.
of historic buildings. So to me, I'm like, I take people on a tour of it, and I'm embarrassed that there's wood hanging on the back. And literally, I've had people ask, well, what's the story on there? I go, I can't even go fix it right now. We weren't sure if it would fall over. So it's safe.
least
I
now
can
you
get
know
up
it's
there, and
safe.
I'd like to do that. Yeah.
First, let me ask Daryl and Jason, you're the builders in this group. So I was thinking, all pieces that are not securely fastened, anything like that needs to be addressed. Any safety issues need to be addressed in the next 6 months. I don't want to see this building left totally alone until the other 3 are done, because that's just
No.
not
Yeah.
feasible. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, just as much as he has going on, I mean, how many different contractors he's working with, it's hard to get things scheduled and get people on the job. So, I would just ask, you, what would be, you think, a reasonable time frame?
I honestly, I would be a little, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I think 6 months is too long on the hose tower. Like, I would like to go get that attached. And I think getting it painted and finished, maybe we'll attach that later, but I'd like to get up there really soon. On that, I'm concerned.
You can do it
And then, but I do have a lot on my plate, and I do realize kind of just that priority, also just as far as imprint on the town. We had some really amazing things happen for Guthrie last weekend. Like, I mean, what was it, 5 music venues, plus Gary Good had music. We had Miss Rodeo USA come here, and we're now home of Miss Rodeo USA as Guthrie is. So some amazing things are happening in Guthrie, and I want them to be amazed when they come in and see what I see, you know? And so I do think those other ones, the Bluebell, the Victor, are more apparent. I agreed with the risk factor. I think you were the one that brought up the back alley, and anything in danger on the lens we took down and took absolutely right on that one. So I think public safety is number one, that impression number two, and even though I love that firehouse and I love that hose tower, it's less of an impression than the others, but it is, like I say, I drag people down that alley to look at it, so I would like to get on it soon. 6 months is very appropriate to get that.
Because I was just going to mention that, yeah, you could say 6 months and kind of have it with a caveat that some progress or some measurable progress has been done. Right. And maybe having the hose tower as the priority in that. So again, after 6 months, we're just not getting the, well, I was busy and I didn't think about it. So.
Yeah.
If we're agreed that that is the direction we want to go here, then if there's any other comments.
Did you say you have secured the wood that's dangling off the tower?
No, I was saying I would like to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, until it was approved, I couldn't
Sure.
work on it, yeah.
Yeah, I would make a motion that we give them a time frame of 6 months with, I don't know if it's appropriate for some follow-up in
See some
60
progress.
days.
Sure.
But that makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, you want.
Is that clear enough?
Yeah, no, right, but then basically a progress report after 60 days?
Yeah.
You said? Okay. Got it. Yeah, a motion by Darrow, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Nathan. Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes,
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
and Lisa Kennedy.
Yes.
All right.
and we're come to number 13, which is our final application for the longest meeting ever.
This is why we're being so quiet.
We're all exhausted. HPC application number 25010, discussion and potential action on a request for the approval of a minimum maintenance plan for a building located at 119 West Oklahoma Street, or the Lentz Department Store building.
Yeah, and kind of speeding things up, this is the one similar scenario to the previous two, went to April 7th. And so at the May 5th meeting, it was decided to do 60 days to fix or repair all the rear windows on the building in that, and the applicant, I think he repaired the broken windows, but I didn't see other windows being fixed or repaired. But I may be wrong, I'll let the applicant speak.
Okay.
The broken window is fixed.
I secured windows and I removed any broken windows. And we replaced some of them. I did do we also have, I'm trying to think of the total number now. They're actually double windows, and then below there would be 2 windows. And so I think we did, was 7 or 9 of those windows are ready to install as well, but we haven't put them up. We shifted because we only had so many days that weren't raining. We went back to the Victor. So we did get all the, anything, and as a matter of fact, I did it on all my buildings after looking at that one, just making sure that there was no risk factor in that back alley. So I made kind of the judgment call, that was more important that I got what people see instead of the back alley, but I did secure that. And it was a failed experiment. It worked on the Victor for some reason, I don't know why. We pulled a window out that was in jeopardy and we draped it off. Everything was screwed in and it worked great. And it's still there today and tight. And for some reason, nothing would, it keeps blowing. So that's why I started working on the windows to put those up. But those will probably go up. I still am going to stay on putting those up now because we couldn't get the temporary coverings to work. And it doesn't look like it from the ground, but like you can't take a piece of plywood and cut it down to fit the window because the window's bigger than a piece of plywood. So it's over 4 by 8. All these windows are massive. Like when you're actually up, they're massive windows. And so.
How many windows do you guys have left to do on that back?
Yeah.
How many?
I did have the total count. I think there was like 28 windows that were originally.
28 panes of glass?
Yeah, panes of glass. Or, yeah, some were smaller. Yeah, 28 windows. But we took all of them out. There were, I think it was 3 of the small panes of glass that are still there, but they're in, so it's watertight, but I've got to get them measured and put in.
So you completed.
We were going to just put the
windows did you
plywood
complete?
back up, and we're going to put the actual windows in because we thought it would be more work to board them.
Right, how many of these windows, actual windows, did you replace, repair and replace?
That's why I'm saying I think it was 7 to 9 that we have in there.
And you still have 28 left to look at?
Yeah, there's a ton of windows and they're big. Yeah.
Right, I understand that, but you had 60 days?
Yes, same as the other one.
Yeah, so that's not a lot of progress, it seems to me, but perhaps I'm wrong.
Let me reread this. The broken window is to be fixed as soon as possible, and that's been fixed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the other windows were to be inspected and based on those results, formulate a more defined maintenance plan.
That was the original.
That was the original.
Yeah, and then that was after that, we didn't get any of that information. So then at the May meeting, that was when it was decided that all the rear windows would need to be fixed or repaired.
And that's when that deadline was.
Yeah, and the 60-day deadline.
Thank you. I was
Yes.
a little confused.
Yeah. So this is similar to the other one. You can extend it or, whatever.
Comments?
Since majority of this, it seems to be windows that need to be replaced, are you working with one company where, are they not able to come in and they're working on them all at once? Or are you just doing each window individually?
Yeah, I went a couple different routes. I kind of addressed this with the other building. Maker Glass is fantastic, and I always liked working with him. He can't rebuild the frames. I thought he could. I thought
is
he
it
even
you're
did that
having a
for me a
hard
couple
time finding
times.
somebody?
But we have so many windows that it's more effective because we have gone in and like we did some in the Freeman building, and those are doing great. And so, and he, as a matter of fact, Maker even said, just do what we did with the, so we're going to have him cut the glass, but we're making the frames. But again, each time, and you don't see it there because it's hard to see those, that's us moving scaffolding up 3 floors, building it 3 floors. We're hanging out there, pulling the window out, then we'll bring all the cutting equipment upstairs. So part of it was, and again, from the human safety, I don't disagree with the decision to address the alley. The appearance, I don't disagree with hitting that aerial bay, but it kept us every rain day, we were moving scaffolding. Like it, and you have to move the saws up there because they're the same saws we've got to rebuild the windows over in the Victor building. And it's working great. It's causing a lot of dust. She'll be upset over. But, you know, we're able to literally take the old window out, measure it up. We're not moving the glass. We're not breaking it. We before used a company down in Oklahoma City, and by the time we transported the glass, it got broken and transferred. And, you know, you're just dealing with issues like that. Or they bring it up and it wouldn't fit, and then it's got to go back. And so this system, and especially with us then being able to address the outside, took some groundwork on our part. And I had the time, because we had the rain days, to figure out the scaffolding and the extensions and how do we do this from the inside instead of the outside. And so we're now doing it. It's just hard because, like I said, all that equipment, because we have multiple saws, because you don't want to have to keep changing it every time you do a different cut. And so every single saw's got to get moved over there. So it's not an easy thing to jump, oh, let's go work on the lints today. You can't, because it takes us almost a full day to move. And so that's where we finally go, okay, let's finish this aerial. We're going to have to do it all. We'll leave the shop upstairs, but we'll finish that aerial on the second floor. Then that's where it makes more sense. But we do have to replace some of those windows on the back, just because to board them up, it's almost as much work at this point, because we've already rebuilt the windows.
Yeah, you have to replace the ones you
Yeah.
haven't replaced yet.
Yeah.
The plan.
Yeah.
So, comments, ideas?
I think the one negative thing is that it sounds like you're the acting GC for all these buildings too, so it's like.
I'm a lot of it, because we've got also roofs to do and brickwork to do, and they're unoccupied buildings, so they're a negative asset right now. They're
Like
cost money.
in a different scenario where you've got like one-to-one ownership on a building, like the expectations for this building would be different
Right.
than what I think your circumstances would be, right? So it's kind of a perspective thing on us, like, in my mind, I mean, I get it, you own all these buildings, and so you can't have the same crew jump over from building to building and not have all these logistics. By the same token, if these were different owners, we'd be like, well, hey, what's taking you so long?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of,
Right.
that's my perspective. I mean, I think it's great that you're doing all this work, you know?
And
Sounds
this
like
is just the work on these buildings. We also did a ton of work on other buildings. We
Yeah.
dealt with some roof stuff and
Yeah.
AC stuff and all
I
kinds
just
of
think
things.
it's perspective, like moving forward, as like the commission goes and starts issuing notices to people on building maintenance, it's like, well, hey, Larry got an additional whatever because he had multiple buildings, you know? I don't know, it's, you want to treat everything as you can as fairly as possible and across the board, so that's the only thing I'm kind of thinking of, like, I don't want to tell you anything negative, because I think what you're doing is great, but it's also
Thank you.
like, man, maybe you need to hire some more crews
I was
if
just
you
gonna
have the
add.
funding and like.
Well,
let's-
and we're trying to do that as well, where it's a tough time to hire people. Like, we've hired people, chill tested this, they don't show up. Like,
Yeah.
we had 2 painters that were going to work all week, and they took a different job.
Yeah, but
And
you
they
get a-
go,
get a
yeah,
good
you
GC
know, and
and- Yeah.
it's tough, you know.
But if you get, like, maybe just manage, and I'm not telling you what to do, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but manage your GCs and have them manage their crews. You know what I mean? And find people that already have crews that are available, because I know they're out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's more costly for you, and I get it, so.
Yeah,
I
it's-
don't know if you have an endless supply of money. If you do, that's fantastic.
We're doing so many windows, and at this point, because it is effective, it makes sense to even, we're going to pull every single window now,
Yeah.
even ones that wouldn't be questioned even by you guys, they're not questioned by me. But the nice part is it lets us get eyes on every single window, and it's so much more cost effective. Like, and so I've got a guy that's doing that full time. Now, part of the problem is I got 2 guys working on the door, and then we did the other door, and then they got a job to do 2 more doors in town. So you do lose guys, but that's okay too, because you
Yeah,
guys
but
having me do 2 doors.
You'll have
has
some
got 2
diversity
more
too
doors
if you
to
have
get
some
done.
other crews. I mean, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's one of those
Yeah.
things, like, we want to we want you to succeed, and
It-
nobody knows what your budget is, so it's like, I'm just shooting from the hip. I'm like, you know, don't lose the momentum, and then don't, like, it would suck to have us in here, like, knowing every step of every move that you make from here on forth, like, getting your buildings up to where they need to be. That would be painful for everybody, frankly.
Right. I mean, we're doing this on a very tight budget. And we're moving forward on it. But yeah, can we go in and pay somebody $500,000 to renovate one of these buildings? No.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we're at a time where the appraised values have really come down. And I don't think it's legitimately low, but you had auctions and things like that that brought in low comps. So you can't go to a bank and borrow against them because those comps come down. So, you know, we've got to get the work done, and we're working on that. But it's, you know, I mean, and you want to get it done well so you don't have to do it again. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't do these buildings. We've completely painted the Victor now twice. This is my third round. So it's, you know, we completely did the one across the street. So but if you do it right, I find you don't do it again. Like, I'm already not regretting the ones I did well on the Victor, and all the ones that we, you know, kind of thought, oh, it's good enough and we can paint it. I'm going to be rebuilding, you know, and so that slows down the
But
process.
the bottom line is that we had a minimum maintenance plan, and you had a certain amount of time to do it, and it's not done. So the question before us, as on the other one, how do we handle this? Do we offer an extension, or do we start fining? So
Okay, what I think is, it kind of sounds like we want to see you be successful in being able to obtain this. Clearly, that's the goal. It sounds like lack of workers is what's holding you back and maybe spread too thin, because what I'm understanding, this fine is over 3 buildings within a certain time frame. So maybe what we do.
4 buildings.
4 buildings. I'm sorry about that, 4 buildings. So maybe what we do, instead of constantly giving an extension, is you have this many days to get this done in this building, these windows. So you're not moving those saws all around 4 buildings and the scaffolding, and then it goes to the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. How do you all feel about that?
And part of this was problem solving the system too, of just how to renovate them. Like I said, we were trying to bring in lifts and do it from the outside, and just that has revolutionized how we can move faster now. But again, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I could send it all to you when I do the paint scheme. This was not normal weather. Like, it was raining, we had heat index, we had
my
wind.
opinion is, I don't think we need to micromanage him to that degree. He's a businessman, he knows what he's doing. I just think we need to ask him to complete these things that we've asked for in a reasonable amount of time. So, did we give him a reasonable amount of time when we gave him 60 days to do this? And if not, then we need to extend it. But if we feel like that was a reasonable amount of time, then, you know, we need to look at other consequences for this. So,
Well, since this is what was set and this was the time that you all gave him at that meeting, then this would be the reasonable amount of time, in my opinion. That was what was agreed upon at that meeting, was this time, and these are the fees if you don't get it done by that date. So at that time, this was reasonable, so whether it's reasonable or unreasonable now, nothing changes. It's just whether those goals were met or not met.
so do I hear a motion?
Well, the same question is on the other building. What do you think would take to what amount of time you need to complete this?
And this one's a tougher one to answer, just because I'm knee-deep on the other one. Okay, so we've been working on it. I'll know a lot more as soon as we start installing those windows we built. So the windows are split between very small ones, which are not a concern, to very big ones, which are a concern, and I'll know more as I do it. The other thing is, you know, when we were back there, we're going, what's the paint scheme of this alley? Like, it's all over the board, and we had questions even on that, because they're primered white right now, but we've got to paint all those windows and put them in too. But, you know, that's a... The main reason I'm hesitating on that back one is we've removed the risk factor, but us focusing on finishing all those windows would pull us off of other projects. Like it would, you know, it's always, are we working on the hose tower, or are we going to go over and work on the back alley of the
So what would
lens?
be a reasonable amount of time to expect you to finish those windows?
If we have good weather, okay, and please put that into the mix. I can show you the weather days. In the last 90 days, we had, what was it, 57 days of dry. If all I need to focus on right now, and we put everything else on hold, I'm okay doing that. I can, if we,
I don't really care about all that.
Okay.
I just want you to tell me what you think a reasonable amount of time is to finish that particular project. I mean, you probably need to build in some time for weather or whatever it is. but-
yeah. It's tough. When we got into it, we thought it would just be remove and replace like the other holes. It's a, part of them are industrial windows, I guess you'd say, metal, and then some of them are double hung in
Yeah,
wood.
and I think
And so
we all
I think
understand
it would take,
We've got that so far. I
okay,
just need-
so from what we've dealt with, I would say probably 60 days to replace those. Because it's probably going to be like a day, if we do a window a day, we'd be moving pretty good. We'd be moving pretty quick on it. Because they're not pop in, you can't from the back, because there's power wires that kind of what started getting us on the inside. You got to do it from the inside. There's rooms, so every single time we've got to take that, it's less arduous, but we have to take the scaffold down, go to the next room, and the wall, each room will have like 3 windows, so, you know, we can go pop, 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 and then move to the next, pop, pop, pop. But it probably easily take that. And so to just looking at it's not my full-time job, I would say it'd probably take us 60 days.
Because of the rain being the issue, and I know we didn't have more than 30 days of rain, I'm going to motion to continue forward with this with only 30 days added.
I would also ask for an update.
An update in 30 days.
An update.
Yes.
Next month for
Next
that.
month, an update.
And we also, at that point, we also need a plan for the front.
Okay. And what was on the update? I'm sorry.
30 days.
Yeah.
The next meeting, we will need a report of how you're doing, because you have 60 days, you said, to finish those windows. So we
Okay.
would like a progress report at the next commission meeting.
Okay.
That was your motion?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I added to the side, we'll also, we have to think about a plan for the front of the Lens
front.
building as well.
Yeah, so the extension was, the 30 days to get him back here to let the commission know what's going on.
60-day extension, 30-day report.
Oh, okay. I only caught the
Okay.
30. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I thought she said 30, so 60 and 30. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
60-day extension, with a report back at the September meeting.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
on progress.
Was that your
Yes,
motion?
that's correct.
I was going to say, is that,
Yes.
perfect. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Jason Wells,
Yes.
Nathan Turner,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes,
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
and Lisa Kennedy.
Yes.
Okay.
thank
5-0.
you.
Thank you,
And Larry, your
guys.
doors look amazing. They look great.
Oh, good, well, thank you.
You did a really good job.
Okay, are there any staff comments?
Well, I have this big, no.
I was going to look for something to throw at you. Yeah. Commissioner comments?
Thank you.
Then this meeting is